Let's start off this video by showing you an article the New York Times published yesterday by their former food critic Frank Bruni, and this pathetic title, "Why Does Donald Trump Keep Dissing Jews?" Now here's the very first paragraph of his article. When something happens once, it is a curiosity. Twice, it is a coincidence. 3 times or more, it is a pattern. And Donald Trump has established a pattern of offending, or at the very least ignoring, Jews. Okay, let's stop right there for the moment. Now, I do not possess the funding or have a research department like the New York Times does. What I do know is that President Trump's first official trip to the Middle East, in which he was the first president in our history to fly directly from a Middle East country, Saudi Arabia, into Israel, and then once he landed there, he was also the very first president in history to go to the Wailing Wall and show respect for the Jewish people. The New York Times is total garbage, and it gets worse by the end of the first paragraph. So let's continue. The most recent example was just last week, when he declined to pay his respects at a Holocaust memorial in Warsaw that other American presidents routinely visited. More garbage and fake news. First of all, he was visiting Poland, and the government schedules their travel itinerary, in which our government approves of. If you remember, he stopped in the day before the G20 summit meeting and had less than 24 hours on the ground. Since he was physically unable to be there and back and give his speech in front of the Polish people, he sent his daughter Ivanka to pay respect. If there was any president in our history who disrespected the Auschwitz Site Memorial, it was President Obama, in which I didn't hear a peep from Frank Bruni about. I will now read the very first paragraph of this article. As world leaders gathered last week in Poland to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau Nazi death camp, the leader of the free world was AWOL. Once again, the New York Times and their journalists like Frank Bruni gives the rest of America even more reason not to trust the mainstream media and their fake bias slant they work into the publishing of their articles.